So we'll start. Remember anything what we learned during a lesson within business law?
So today is my first lecture regarding this unit.
It's not a first unit, first lesson. It's a last lesson, but I think so. Couple of you.
That I understand. But today is my first lesson regarding this unit specifically. I wasn't enrolled in level 5 while this unit had been started.
Okay, no problem. That's fine. If you want, either you carry on with this unit.
Okay.
I can maybe arrange, few sessions with you one-to-one. Otherwise, you have to wait when we'll start, again this unit. So both options are available. So if you want to finish quicker, so what you can do, I'll go through the lesson. I will send you all the recording, or you can find on Moodle as well. And then few sessions as well.
Yeah, I went through Moodle, but all I could find was the PowerPoint presentations for lesson 1 and 2, but there was no PowerPoint presentation for lesson number 3, although the recordings were there. So is there a presentation for lesson 3 also?
Yes, also, but I'll check, maybe due to some reason it missed there. It's not been uploaded properly. What I'll make sure, upload again then.
Okay.
Okay, any question, Manur?
No.
Okay, Daniel, if any question, write please, because I think so you have an issue with mic. So we'll discuss, Manur. During our first 3 lessons we have covered and we'll discuss today. Understanding types of UK laws, legal system, contract laws, and their impact on international business. We discussed during our first lesson. So what is meant by contract? What sort of the things need to be in a contract? What do you think? What sort of the things are what we call any definition of contract? In your own words? When we are doing any contract, what's supposed to?
Well, I believe it's an agreement deed between 2 or more people regarding a certain issue. It's basically the points that both or more parties kind of discuss with each other and consent upon with each other.
Well done. 2 or more parties. Is it anything can be a contract?
Contracts are basically abided by some rules and regulations, mostly done under certain regulations. Those are set by the government or the state of that country.
Yes. So if we or somebody make a contract, illegal goods, to deliver, can we call it a contract?
I don't think so, because that wouldn't be approved by the government, since so it could be known as an informal contract between 2 people, but I don't think it would have any value, since it wouldn't be undertaken. It wouldn't be taken under consideration by the government.
Yes. So is a crucial thing in a contract is a legal binding. Yes. So legal binding, legal agreement. So if it's something illegal, like some people maybe in the world make the contract each other selling drugs. So that's not come under the definition of a contract, because there is a legal binding, yes?
Yeah.
And legal thing we buy and sell it. So that's come under the contract. So when we are looking at the contract law, we need to look around. So contract has been defined as a legal binding or agreement. So a promise or the set of promises which the law will enforce. Is it contract need to be written?
Yes.
It's not compulsory contract need to be written. It can be a verbal contract as well. If you say something to someone and you agree between yourself, that's become a contract. But for the court, if you challenge something to prove it, you need a written something or you need evidence for it. Yes. Otherwise, court don't know anything. If you decide no, you will supply me goods and we will offer you this price, or if you supply on the certain dates. So if you're not supplying it within those dates, it's a verbal contract. We not wrote anything. It become a contract because there is offer, there is acceptance. What we'll do and how we'll exchange, the transaction need to be involved there. So it's become a contract, but the contract, if somebody not paid, it's difficult to claim in the court. So that's why the written contract is more value, but by law we don't need to be, as long you prove it. If both parties are happy, it's fine. Yes. So contract is a legal binding agreement, such as the agreement that law will be enforced. Contract may be written down or based on the verbal agreement. Any question?
No.
Okay, so when we'll discuss about the contract, element of contract, it need to be freedom of contract. Yes, not by enforce it. So youngster, if someone is not sound minded and don't have ability to interpret the things, like somebody is communicating in English, say, oh, okay, can you sign here? It's not become a contract until the other person have ability and understand. So then it's become a contract. Any question?
No.
So during our previous lessons we discussed, so element of the contract, a valid contract, it need to be consideration. Yes, so parties and their agreement need to be something we consider. Intention, form, capacity, legally capable to enter into the genuine consent, and legality. The contract need to be. So all these are, and there need to be offer and acceptance and consideration. So offer, acceptance, and consideration need to be within a contract as well. Then we discuss about the court system in England and Wales and UK. We discuss about the European Court of Justice, then House of Lords, then Court of Appeal, then the Crown Court. So in the UK, all this is the UK judiciary system, how it's works. Any question?
No, sir.
So difference between civil and criminal law. What is the difference? Anybody knows?
Civil law is like against the government, and sorry, criminal, and civil is between the two parties, like two people.
Okay. In both laws, there are supposed to be two parties, but the criminal is mean between states and individuals, because states make the law and then the individual have to follow, must have to follow, and civil law between individuals. Yes. So like, you make a contract, somebody not fulfill, the company supposed to offer you discount, but they not offer the discount. So no, it's between individual and organization. That's not between the government organization. So that's become under the civil. So that's a civil matter. It goes in civil courts. Yes, like marriage contract is a civil contract. So civil courts, deal these all issues. Other criminal offense, yes, not paying, suppose, right of taxes, stealing money, harming the government property. So that's come under the criminal. Data protection, not securing the data, health and safety laws, all, if we not fulfill, it will come under the crime. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay. So all these are the court system we discussed during our, so please, that was your lesson 1, so which we need to discuss, and in your assignment you have to write. So please go through this, which will go through assignment brief as well. LO2, understand the main concept and the principle of consumer companies law. So we discuss about company law. What is meant by company law? Anybody? Company law?
So company law is a law under which the private limited companies and public limited companies need to abide by. For example,
Well done.
Company House 2006, it's the law that is followed by the companies those needed to be formed under this act. It is basically a UK law.
Company law is every country have a company act. Like in Pakistan is 1984 Company Act. In UK we have a 2006 Company Act is applicable now. And the company, how the company will operate, how the company will be registered, how the company will pay the taxes, how the company will arrange the meeting, annual general meeting, what sort of the corporate governance required under the company law. So how often company need to submit their account in the company house. So company, if it's a public limited company, the company must need to be registered exchange, and how the company will issue the shares, and how the public have a right to buy the shares, and how they present the information. So that's all come under the company law. The role of directors, the stewardship agency. So director is work as an agent of shareholder. So shareholder is the actual owner of the business, but the director will work as the agent of the shareholders. So all this we discussed during our second lesson. So our second lesson was on company laws, where we discuss about the consumer laws as well, and the agency and agent relationship. So all this, and we discussed different legislation as well. We discussed Discrimination Act as well. So companies can't discriminate. We discuss equal pay rights. Company must have to pay equal pay. We discuss contract of sales. Company have to make, and sales need to offer the goods that fit for purpose. If you're buying something, like you bought electronic goods, and the electronic good need to be fit for purpose. If, like, you buy an iron and that's not working, yes, that's not fulfilling, or not, it's a lot of things, they've been misled and missold. The goods not fit for purpose, so you have a right as an individual to claim back the money whatever we paid. So that's the sales, like electronic goods in the UK is in 90 days is a warranty automatically. Within 90 days, if the electronic goods not working properly, we have a right to return, and we have a right to get the refund. So that's come under the Sales Good Act, Yes, if the company not put the right description, inside is a different things, but contain sugar level is high, that means the good is not fit for purpose. If the medicine is being manufactured and the medicine is being said this is a good against the cancer and this will protect against, but actually this medicine was not, actually that was the fake medicine, the fake claim. So that is mean good not fit for purpose. So we have a right to claim, or we have a right to go against the company. Any question?
No, sure.
Okay, so we discussed Consumer Protection Act. Consumer have a full protection. Consumer rights, Data Protection Act, types of civil and private law. We already discussed breach of contract. Tort law we discussed is a civil. Wrongs, independent contract, negligence, nuisance. All these sort of the things we discussed during our last lesson, code of second lesson. So please go through these slides, a bit recap, and then of course you will be okay. If you not get the things, your terminology is right, ask me. I'll try my best, to explain you. Last lesson, lesson 3. So where we discuss about employment, understand the employment law. So any law related to employment we discuss, and we discuss employment contract. So by law, as individual have a right ask the contract from the employer. If the employer don't give you the contract, it means they are violating the law, and they can be penalized, or can be the law, and as per law, if the case can be to employment tribunal, then the company really need to pay the damages to the individuals. So all this we discuss employment law. So under employment law, all come equal pay, discrimination, union, contract, health and safety, EU directive, trade union, training, development, motivation, all these come under the employment law. So job need to be advertised, fair, equal rights, lot of discussion going around the salary. If we have a same role, we should get the same salary. The break time, if we are making the people redundant, how much redundant pay is supposed to pay? Yes, promotion. So all these come under the employment law. Partly every country have a different legislation, but almost every country have a employment laws. Like a pension contribution in under this come under the employment law as well. So please go through all these lessons when you will do your assignment, and so please discuss all employment legislation. I'll send you further some handouts to do. Any question? So let's move to our lesson 4 today. Lesson 4 is we have only, it's very small, one assessment criteria. 4.1 evaluate impact of law governing competition in different market conditions. So thus we are looking the Competition Act, competition laws in within a economy, within economic systems. So that's really we'll go through. Anybody heard about monopolies? What is meant by?
Monopoly is a type of market where there is a single seller.
Single seller. Okay. Okay. Is it good or bad?
It usually depends whether the monopolies are being owned by the private sector or the public sector.
Okay. So what are the advantages can be monopoly?
Well, if we look at the government sector, for example, the electricity, the power that's being provided by the government only, that's, I believe, in the favor of the general public, as the prices would be reasonable and the supply would be consistent.
So if it's a privatization, what will be benefit then?
Well, benefit. Well, what private people do, they have profit motive, so they could, do consumer exploitation. That's not the benefit, but a disadvantage. But in some cases, some monopolies do cater for the qualitative products, and they try to keep the market under their own shadow.
Mm-hmm. So actually, it depends. In different people have a different monopoly. Normally, is a bad for the consumer. So bad for the consumer. If one firm is control everything, that firm will charge the prices whatever they want. So competition is quite crucial. If we have a competition in the country, so what will be happen then? Of course, the prices will, every company will compete on the basis of the prices. So we need to look around. The monopoly is mean one government, one company control everything and have a major 80-90% share. We'll say that's a monopoly. Or anybody heard about monopolistic competition?
Yes, sir.
What is meant by monopolistic?
I think in monopolistic, the sellers are in few numbers, just 2-3 sellers, I guess.
Brilliant. Yes, that's all about. So monopolistic means few firms have a control on it. No other firm can enter. So few firms, like think about the cement manufacturing. especially in Pakistan or in different parts, maybe. So we need to look around. They have a monopoly. They can change the prices. Yes, they can say, come on, I have 100 rupees or whatever, so we'll do this. Yes, so everyone will follow. That's a monopolistic. A sort of other form of monopoly, as a few firms, dominate in the society. In the UK, is in electricity, have a competition. So if your gas electricity meter, you can buy your gas electricity from 20 different companies. Your meter will stay the same gas, same electric, but you can get the bill from A or B or C or D company. So you can change to one company to other company to other company, whichever will offer you cheaper. So always people carry on moving around and shop around. So that is not a monopoly, that is called competition. Anybody heard about cartel?
Yes, sir.
What is meant by cartel?
So it's a group of similar sellers.
Okay. Cartel.
Who basically work for unanimously agreed mindsets. For example, in order to follow a certain price, they would follow each other, and they would not disagree, and they would not kind of follow their own independent rules, but abide by a single agreement. For example, oil companies.
Yes, like company A, company B, company C come together and they fix the price. Yes, we'll say we all agree. You please, we charge 100 rupees per whatever. Yes, so that is called cartel fixed price. Yes, so all the company come together and agree fix the price, which is illegal. Market forces need to be decide the price, not individual or organization need to fix the price. They can charge the price cost plus, yes, which is fine, but they can't, come together. No. Oh, you can't charge less, from the consumer. Yes. Then it means we are doing cartel. Any question? Which is illegal under the law. Under the contract law, it is illegal to fix the price as a cartel. Okay. So next we are looking on these slides. So we'll go through the monopoly and the anti-competitive practices. So competition is always benefit for individual, for consumer, but we have a lot of legislation for competition. So always in the UK or the rest of the world where the open economies are, economic system is very open. Any company can come in and join it. Any company can start the business if they want to, as long they meet the license requirement. So Competition Act, in the ministers are instructed that they investigate if any suspecting monopolies practices. So under the Competition Act can be, if with a monopoly happen, well, in the UK the separate body is called Competition Commission. So like in other countries as well, competition. So we have a lot of supermarkets here. So if the big supermarket like Tesco take our others second biggest, so they are creating monopoly. So Competition Commission not allow them to merge together, which we'll go through now, merger and acquisition as well. Okay, any question? So please ask me if you not get me. Next is the Competition Act, then 1988 been further updated. In this act, the European Commission laws are scrutinized the anti-competitive practices. So we have not only the UK law, is a European law as well. So against the competition. Fair Trading Act. Fair Trading Act 1973, under the company are required, they have to do trade in a fair manner and polish the monopoly. So they have to look around the fair and they have to monopoly need to be finished. So Telecommunication Act 1984, under the Act of 12 governing grade is given to the Competition Commission. Monopoly is restrictive practices and control under the Act as well. Then we have a Monopoly and Merger Act. Okay, can we merge any company? What is meant by merger? Anybody know?
Merge is when two or more companies they come under one name and start to operate as a single entity.
Brilliant. So merger is both company merge together and create a new entity, new organization. That's called merger. Yes. What is meant by acquisition then?
So acquisition is basically when one company buys another company and acquires all of the operating activities, all of the functions, or everything of that company, and then give that company its own name, its own previously owned name.
Yes. So acquisition normally we take our other companies and we acquire them. Anybody heard about subsidiary? Associate and parent. Yes. What is the difference between them? Any thought? Parent company who control the maximum. Yes. Who has more than 50% shares or own 50% shares, that's called parent company. And the subsidiary, if you have a share of other companies, 50% shares, we call subsidiary. Subsidiary means if you have a 50% shares of other company, you can call this is our subsidiary. Associate, if we have 20 to 49% shares in other company, so we call is a associate company of the parent. And if we have a less than 20% shares, so we can call investment. So we can simple call is an investment. So that's all under the company law. So when we produce our company reports, so we must need to be, if we have a merger and acquisition happen, so we can produce a consolidated statement. For the subsidiary, if they want to be, they can produce as a separate their financial statements as well. Any question?
No, sir.
Monopoly and the Merger Act 1965. In this, the mergers and the business contract which are against the public interest should be restricted. So anything is against the public interest can be stopped. So in this case, three companies, Wikipedia and various ATHE and the Booking.com infringed the competition laws because they were accused for they are unable to display the discount prices on their site. They can basically is manipulating things, so that's illegal. So role of Competition Commission. Competition Commission is regulated. Competition Commission Act in the UK. From April 2014, it become a competition market authority. So if you have a question and the companies are not performing and you want to make a complaint against these companies, you can write to Competition and Market Authority. Like, the company advertising different things, but actually selling you different things. Companies are fixing the prices. So you can write, and that's the complaint, and the Competition Market Authority can impose the damages. We have a company called Virgin Media. They provide the broadband. What do you think? Broadband speed everywhere same speed?
No.
If we advertise, you will get 50 meg speed everywhere, every part of UK. Is it right? Can we get it? Is it right advertising? You will get 50 meg speed everywhere. We are offering you 50 meg, 100 meg speed. So it's not, because it's a technology. As far you're from the exchange, your speed drops, so that they misled the people, and the market competition authority is fined to the company £25 million. So that's all about the competition. So we need to look around. The competition is regulated Competition Act in the UK, and of course, anti-competitive practices, which is supposed to be banned, and which is held in the market and does most of the function in the office of the fair trade. Fair trade is quite crucial. So trading standard and fair trade. Question if you have, please ask me. Okay. The firm who has 50% shares in the market will dominant position in the market. So dominant position, which is a dominant firm, can exploit the consumer by charging the different price or the higher price. The Competition Act, UK dominant position include, we can look around in the book as well, according to Article 82 of the European Union Treaty, interests of the trade is protected by the treaty, only the European members. So we need to look around the instrument. There are the various instruments who one can be determined that there is abuse of the dominant position by imposing different price, by imposing term and condition on goods, selling the goods are at the below the cost. Can we sell below the cost?
Yes, sellers often do that in order to attract more sales.
Okay. I'm not sure we heard about or not. I think so. A couple of you. Dumping. What is meant by dumping? And anti-dumping. A lot of Chinese companies selling goods in the foreign market less than the cost. Even own country in China, goods are very expensive, but in other country, goods are very cheap. Same goods, same product. The reason is because some Chinese company being fined because they are dumping in other market, selling them in a few years time. What will be happen? All the local industry will be closed, and then they will increase the price. So which is an illegal activity called dumping, and there is a rule against the dumping is called anti-dumping rules. You can't do it in international trade or trades. So but we can sell it if we are within the UK manufacturing, but it's a free competition. So, but normally it's less than the cost is illegal activity. Funding agreement. So we can look around agreements. United Brands Company versus the competition is a case law. We can read online as well. Any question?
No, sir.
Manur, any question?
No.
Okay, so evaluating the exemption of the model, the most of the firms amount the pre-setting the price power. They have a price maker, not a price taker. Some dominant in the real market. Okay, what is meant by perfect competition? Anybody heard about perfect competition? Which is opposite than monopoly.
Yes, where there are many sellers.
Yes, there is no restriction. Any company can come in and join. Any company can leave whenever they want to. Yes, so that's it called perfect competition. Open market, perfect competition. So high complex. So in company like a UK, not 100% perfect competition, but still is a competition. Perfect competition means totally open everything. Yes, you can compete it, but here is the government can intervene if the company not behaving it. Not only the market forces, it's the economy. The government is a regulator at the top, but the market forces can decide the price. But if the companies they fix the price, then the government can intervene. Not only the market forces will control the price itself, or the law of demand and supply. All okay? Okay, so let's these please go through as well, these slides. So next we're looking efficiency. So in the perfect competition, efficiency is quite crucial. So in a perfect allocative efficiency in the both short run and the long run, firm equal marginal cost. With what is meant by marginal cost?
Change in the total cost.
Marginal cost means the cost of every successive unit. Every additional unit we will produce, what will be the cost of it? Yes. How much cost will increase or decrease when we produce different units? So we can measure the efficiency. Productive efficiencies is occur when the equilibrium output is supplied at the minimum average cost. So we can say very productive efficiency. Dynamic efficiencies change our innovations more. So we can divide it in terms of efficiencies under the perfect competition as well. What sort of the efficiencies can be? So competitive market can be lower the price, lower barrier to entry, lower total profit and profit margin than monopoly, greater entrepreneurial activity. Yes, people are working, people are contributing, society, people are offering free parking to public, companies are offering free health checks. These are morally as well, and under the perfect competition, all this carry on happening because they're not attracting on the price, they are attracting on the moral value as well. So real world, everything, but it still is happening. Big supplier, they control the market as well, which is a lot of discussion going around. This is illegal, this is not a if company claiming ethical, but actually control everything and manipulate it and not providing the faster payment to the small farmer or the small suppliers. So that's illegal as well. Go through these in your assignment. You can write a bit on these as well. So competitive market, as many businesses are trying the same customer, and monopolistic, which is one firm 25% or more the market share, reducing the competition, is called monopolistic. And the monopoly exists as well, where few firms control. Any question? So under LO4 monopoly, we discuss mergers, we discuss anti-competitive practices. Those will like a cartel, property rights and exemptions. What is it meant by property rights?
Property rights is basically the real estate rights where you buy, sell, or give or acquire property on rent. It's basically those rules.
Yes, the way you said is fine, but is a property right mean the copyrights?
Oh, okay.
So copyrights, yes. Dominant positions is mean the company those have monopolies, yes, dominant. So under the competition law, that's not good. Fair trade, what is meant by fair trade? Okay, we are one firm, only we are offering it. Whatever way we trade, we can store all the food and we create a demand. It's not a fair trade, yes. Fair trade is a fair competition, no child labor, using the renewable energy. That's all come under the fair trade practices. Inventory protection, what is meant by inventory protection? Anybody, any question? Inventory protection, what is meant by? What is meant by inventory?
Stock.
Yes, so protection is just you protect the inventory protection. If it's a government properties like government companies as well, they have a right to be protect the public properties, yes, public inventories, not waste it. So shareholders, actually owner of the shareholders are the owner of the business, but the director have a responsibility to protect their inventories. Yes, copyrights, patent, what is meant by patents?
Patents are basically the owners or the exclusive rights.
Yes. So it's all about the copyrights really. In lot of countries, like lot of product in various, especially in Asian or some African and various other market as well. So lot of Chinese company they making the duplicate copies as well. Yes.
Mm.
So there are the lot of laws. It could be fine, it could be imprisonment, like the copyrights. So various things happening. Copy intellectual property rights. Yes, nobody else can do it. Yes, if you do, you copy, you have to be. That's why when we write assignment, when we'll write something, so we have to do, and that's why it's very crucial to look around the copyrights as well as intellectual property rights. So we have to register our copyrights. So when we publish any books, when we write our assignment, or if we're using someone work, we clearly need to be referenced. So that's all come under the copyrights. Yes. Like one of the students did PhD, copied the ideas of someone else, changed the reference of it, and published the information. He said he's actually doctor, discovered this medicine. After 5 years, his PhD is revoked from Leeds University 2 years ago. The reason other guys claim I developed this model 5 years ago, and how he's claiming, that's actually his piece of work. And that guy has been sacked from the job and been fined, and the PhD is revoked. That's the intellectual property rights as well, individual. Okay, so this is all. Full quick, anybody any question up to now?
No.
So I already uploaded books as well on Moodle, so please you can use as well. Okay, we'll go through assignment brief first. So there are a lot of good cases. Please, you can include in your assignment as well. You can reference some case laws as well. Okay, this is all what we learn. And scenario, you have applied the internship in the business law consultant. UK company establishing helping small businesses owing to the salaries and reputation business law consultant. There are the 100 of the applicants. So what, as a part of your application, you need to send the portfolio of documents, and the aim is not only to display understanding, but to show the charity of and all this document. You need to create draft map and distinction between the types of law in the UK, and create a fact sheet, summarize the contract law in the EU and UK. So like legislations we discussed. So please you can, and draw the table, define the concept of intellectual property rights such as copyright, patent, and these all. Further, I'll send you the book as well on the intellectual and copyrights as well. Okay, so please go through this. Any question?
So is there a specific pattern for fact sheet to be made?
Fact sheet is just based on the research, which you can put the reference, and that will be come under the facts, fact sheet.
Okay.
Okay, so next is we looking your application was successful, and you've been called in an interview because the firm specializes in helping organizations prevent issues relating to employment and consumer protection. So here we looking and impress the recruiter with the knowledge on the topic. Secretary, the partners already told you, prepare 10 to 15 minutes interview segment during you evaluate the benefit of the introduction of the consumer rights. So here we are discussing about the consumer rights. Yes. What sort of the rights consumer have? Consumer have a right to return if the goods not fit for purpose Consumer has a right to ask the refund. Consumer has right to exchange the goods. So we need to look around these, under the Consumer Act, which is updated further in 2015. So Trade Description Act mean whatever the goods says outside, same thing should be inside within a product as well. Okay, Sale, Good and Service Act is mean the services or the goods provide fit for purpose. Consumer Protection Act is a company should protect the consumer interest. And if they missold, like in the UK, a lot of companies, they sold the insurance. It's called PPI, Payment Protection Insurance, without the notification of the consumer. Like as a customer, I was not aware of, they sold me, and then I claimed their money back because the government passed the legislation. Whatever the PPI been missold, and the people got the money back. So because that's the Consumer Protection Act. So general product and the safety regulation, yes, the product need to be safe, like electronic equipment need a safety check. If they not meet the safety standard under the EU and the UK, so then of course that product can be and the consumer have a right to ask the claim and get the refund, as well as the if they not, that product can be removed from the market as well. So you should describe the law relating the employment, like we discussed the Employment Regulation Act, 2000 Discrimination Act, Equal Pay Act, job descriptions and all, the advertising, recruitment, selection processes. So all is come under the employment. Any questions?
Sir, it says in the submission that there needs to be an MP3 recording. So we need to make the notes for the interview and we need to submit MP3 recording also?
Interview circa in 15. You can do interview someone, yes. Like, what you think about employment law, yes. What you think employment law is very important. How you think, employer not implies rights, like employer must provide the contract to employees, like employer have a responsibility to provide the breaks, employer has a responsibility to pay the national minimum wage. Like today, one of leader was discussing about, all day about national minimum wage. So all this is all about, you can record your own recording as well, yes, which you can submit to address the learning outcome.
Okay.
Even you can create it like a little link, where you can record and you can submit. If you want me, I can send you website. I have somewhere the link of website where you can record online, and you can put the link, recording as well. Any question?
Okay. Can you explain what the fact sheet? I didn't get the fact sheet.
We're talking about the task one. Okay, fact sheet. Fact sheet is only shows, like a laws, legislation, copyrights, how, like copyrights, how many companies been fined on the intellectual copyrights, yes. What is meant by trademark, what is meant by intellectual property right, what is meant by patent, trademarks, yes. So when you writing
fact sheet over here, they're demanding for the contract laws in the EU and UK. That's the number 2 point.
Yes, under the contract law, it's come all, the things as well. Contract law is all about, there is offer, there is acceptance, there is a.
So
all this is so all consideration. So when we are looking the fact law, how many people been missold? Yes. How many people not, like some cases you can include it, which is given in the book.
Okay.
The book which I send you?
Yes, yes.
So that's the book. Yes, you're right. It's under 2 I'm looking, and under 3 as well. But all these are the relevant. That's come under the contract law. Contract means 2 parties. Which party is not fulfilling which party, and how many cases, lot of cases we have a court. Facts mean what are the fact sheet, how many, any case law 2, 3, you just writing within a sheet or legislation about the contract law. That's come all the fact sheets regarding the contract law.
Okay.
Is it okay? If you want me, I can send you some facts as well, which you can make the fact sheet from it.
Okay.
Okay. So task 2, we okay? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Daniel is recording. You can MP3 recording, like you can record anything which is relevant to these things, yes, which we just discussed, and that can be, you can submit it and you can use it. Because they put it, interview can be anyone, any companies or any employees. You can ask about the views about the employment. You can prepare the notes if you want, how you long working, what you think, have they advertised the job, okay, they are paying the fair wages, or they can, what you think about, are you getting pension? Then maybe we can think about the pension laws as well. That's all come under the employment law. Okay, how often, how many holidays you have, so all come, if you are on the payroll, you're supposed to give employees holidays as well. So feedback, yes, if maybe if you're delivering as a lecture, so you can get the feedback, or you can create a feedback, are you happy or not, or you think, so that's come as a feedback sheet, little bit. You can create few questions. Any question?
Sir,
Okay,
I thought this feedback form was the form that's already been uploaded on the Moodle for each and every assignment. Because it says the lecturer's feedback form, right?
okay. First is a note for interview. Second is the lecturer feedback form. It's not clearly indicates you are delivering it because it's your interview. I can arrange interview with you. We can record it. Yes. You can give the interview to me about the employment. Yes. What you think, and I can give you feedback on the interview as well. You can do interviews of someone, and someone can give you the feedback as well if you want to. But technically, you're absolutely right, because it's a written here, lecturer feedback. So it means we can create an interview here as a recruiter. Basically, what we do when we doing in the class-based environment, we'll say you have an interview, yes, where you have to explain the legislation, and we can record the interview, and end of the interview we can give you the feedback of your interview. Yes, like you're applying the job and somebody is supposed to by law give you the feedback, and that we can record as well.
We had the similar, like kind of similar assignment for Unit 1. So in that, I just wrote the answer for this question, like not the recording or the interview, because for the first assignment, it asks for an interview, but we submitted in an answer form.
Yes, that's absolutely fine. Really, we need to look around the learning outcome point of view. If you're doing like this is your applicant successfully, and you've been called for an interview, because your application been shortlisted now, and you've been called for interview, and you're giving the 15-minute interview. The interview can be recorded. You can use the interview notes. Maybe you can preparing some notes, to answer. You can submit. The person who's taking your interview can give you the feedback. That's a feedback form. It's not assignment feedback. It's just a generic feedback form. And then, of course, MP3 is a recording. Really, we can record as well. Does it make sense?
Sir, it's a confusing task over here because it says, you have been called for the interview, and the notes, those are being asked in the submission. That's basically the self-preparation notes. Those
Yes.
need to be submitted, right? So it's basically kind of a homework thing that we need to do before going for the interview. So I don't understand the link between the lecturer feedback form and the notes for the interview.
Yeah, that's whoever prepared in a way that's create a confusion there. That's why I just first is looking. Okay, so first is the interview. Yes, whenever we are going for an interview, what we are doing?
Like we prepare.
I'm making a list of all terminologies. Yes.
Yeah.
Under the employment law, which is a lesson 3, we learn about the employment law. Yes.
Yes.
So interviewer can ask you the question regarding those legislation, and you can use your notes to answer them. Yeah.
It's specifically like writing the answer for that, the full, like how we write the assignment, maybe 1,000 words or like.
Okay.
Because I did the same for first unit HRM. I did the same. Like there was these questions, and for the interview, I just wrote the whole answer.
Which is fine, absolutely that way you can do it as well. So interview, somebody taking your interview, it means you can create a questionnaire if you want to, or you can record it, is fine too, because when you're creating a questionnaire, it means you're doing both tasks together. But technically interviewer is a different, yes, interview, the person giving the interview. Yes. So we need to look around, the who is taking interviews and who is giving interviews. Yes. Two different things now. So my feedback is a different, your notes is different. Yes. Your notes is your own. My feedback, I supposed to give you feedback when I'm taking your interview. Are you doing interviews with me? Let's leave it. What I'll do, I'll check with the Roman as well. If we have any previous submission, what really they are expecting. So we'll be more clarify. I'll clarify this thing. Okay, that will be good. I'll check old any submission we have, because I'm just delivering this unit first time, because I delivered journal the law, but I just seen the assignment brief with this first time. So that's why is the confusion. So we can request it, they can amend it as well, OTHM. Okay, if you want, I can send you the feedback form. We can fill it, the form as well, huh? If we need to, which we can attach in assignment as a evidence. Basically, assignment is just about the collecting the evidence, this one, as a fact. Yes. Is it okay, Malia?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next we are looking now, task 3 and 4. Here you have been no shortlisted. You will see the steps there involved. Yes. Down to 4 candidates, and the reviewed partners want to see your worth, and has asked all 3 candidates to write an so we can look around, should focus on the short up lunch and to do the so all this what we need to do, describe the type of company and their legal implications. So type of companies, how many types of companies we have?
Two types of companies.
2 types of companies under the Company Act 1984 or 2006 is called public limited and private limited. What is meant by public limited? They have a right to, they required £50,000 worth of investment to be registered as a public limited company in the UK, but other countries of course varies the limit. Okay, the public company have a right to be conduct annual general meeting. Shareholder have a right to select the directors. Public limited companies should be registered in the stock exchange. Public limited company work in the yes, they must have to publish the account on the public domain. So all this come under the public. Private limited can't issue shares to the public. Normally the shares kept by the private limited. There is a no minimum investment requirement. Even the company can start from £1. Yes, but they still have to register, and they can publish the account, and they have to submit the account in the company house, but they don't need to be compulsory to publish in the stock exchange, because they not issue the shares to the public. And then describe the formation process, include registration. Yes, like I explained you, public limited company, commencement of the business and re-registration. Yes, they can start the business. They need a memorandum, and they need. Anybody heard about what is meant by memorandum and article association?
Yes, sir.
What is meant by memorandum?
Memorandum is basically a small, it's a small list of what your company is made up of, and what it does. Basically, its aims, etc.
Yes, so all we are writing, who will be directors initially, when we'll set up, how much registered capital will be, where our company head office will be, what nature of the business we are going to do. So all, is come under article association is who will be responsible and what sort of the responsibilities will be. And we really discussing about the operating process. Okay, any question? The third, explain what is agent, and by providing example, evaluate how the agency laws apply. Agent, and like in agent is mean the person who's working on the behalf of someone else. So principal mean the owner, agent mean who's working for the principal, and agency relationship we call the fiduciary relationship, which is mean the relationship create through agency relationship. So always agent need to work in the best interest of the principal and the best interest of the general public as well. So that's come under the, and I'll send you document as well, agency laws, and a case study which you can add it to write. If you want yourself, if you type Google search ACCA article and agent or agency laws, so you can pick it and you can write it as well. Okay, next. And if you have any questions, so please ask me task 3.
No, sir.
And task 4, 3 or 4, you and another candidate. Luckily,
it is basically 4 by 4.
Sorry?
It is basically task 4 by 4. There is a
yes, it mean is a link with each other, 3 and 4. Yes, so 3-month internship. Now you have decided to push for it and ask you to put in the merger project, and the partner agrees to take back the seat and have to lead on the project. And now we need to be focused on the making a case for the merger and acquisition. So it's really you writing about the merger and acquisition. If we merge, what benefit will be? If we acquire other company, what benefit will be? The cost will be dropped. We describe the Company Act 1998, EU competition. So if the merger happen, it will create a monopoly or not. If the monopoly, then we need to look around the competition commission, because maybe the competition commission will bar it, yes, not allow us to be merge it as a company.
Sir, over here it says focus on making a case for mergers. What specifically it means by that?
Focusing on making a case for mergers. So you're just writing, if we will create a merger with other company, like, you're a company A and you can merge with the company that they have a same nature of the business. They have a same product line, like we used to call Lever Brother. Yes. No, you have a Unilever. Uni was the Holland company and the Lever Brother was UK company. So one make the soap, one used to be make the shampoo or the various other products. So they merge together and they become a company as a Unilever, yes. But the benefit it will create the more innovation, more research. You have expertise in one area, we have expertise in another area, we can merge together. You have an international expertise, we have a local expertise. So when you will merge together, we become a solid company, and there will be benefit, and we can offer the cheaper goods to the customer as well. Yes, because the cost will drop and the innovation will increase. Yes, we can create a new innovative product. That's
is
the
it like
case.
is it like making a proposal for it?
It's a proposal. We call business case, it's called a proposal.
Okay.
Any question? You can find lot of discussion going around the company's merger. Like we have a company called ATHE and Sainsbury merger, which is going now, and if you type in the Google search ATHE and Sainsbury merger, and you can use as a case.
Okay.
Any question? So please you try as much you can. Otherwise, I'll go through again with you, and I'll send you some extra resources in the backup, those will help you to write as well. Huh?
Yeah. Also, sir, the PowerPoint presentation for the lesson number 3 on Moodle.
Upload lesson number 3 and 4, and plus I'll send you some backup, like some journal article as well. Those you can use and reference as well.
And for lesson, this other unit also, sir, I told you about it.
Yes, Manur, I'm supposed to arrange the lesson with you. Is it marketing was?
Yeah.
Yes, so I'll try. Is it okay with you tomorrow?
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Okay, no problem. I'll likely will send you an invitation tonight, okay? And then we'll do lesson tomorrow then, okay? Yes, Daniel, any question? Okay, Malia, any question you have?
No, sir. I just like to confirm that yesterday night I sent you my assignment for Unit 4. Although I haven't studied that unit with you, but there was kind of a self-studied assignment that I prepared. So I hope you have received it.
Yes, I received your assignment, but I did not reply your email, which I'll send you, and I'll send you feedback. I'll try my best, by tomorrow. I'm a bit free this week, so I'll try my best, send you as soon as possible. Huh?
Okay.
Yes, if any other question?
No, sir.
If any question, I'll upload this recording as well. I hope so will help you. So we'll keep up to here. So we learn about today the monopoly, what is meant by. We discuss about the competition commission. We discuss about competition laws as well. We discuss about EU and various other legislation. Those are relevant to competition. We discuss about merger acquisition. We discuss about cartel. We discuss about dumping and anti-dumping laws. Those are relevant to the task learning outcome or assessment criteria 4.1. So please, you can focus in your assignment as well when you do the address the criteria 4.1. So I'll speak you and we'll start, the new unit, and I will let you know, and then I'll book you the lessons as well, and we'll do as our routine lesson normally on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, have a nice time, everyone. Good night. Okay, speak again. Thank you. Bye bye.